Welcome to the At Leisure Podcast. This is a show about sports, video games, movies, and just basically the things we do with our leisure time. My name is Brett, and I'm here with my good friend Jeff, once again, filling in the second week in a row as Ashton's still dealing with some sickness. Jeff, thanks again for joining, and man, what a great weekend of college football. We're actually going to talk about it this week. Can you believe we only have one more week left of regular season games?
First, glad to be back, Brett. Thanks for having me. And no, it seems so quickly that we've gone through this college football season on one hand. On the other hand, as an OU fan, it has been the longest drag of a season ever.
Yeah. You said that you listen to every episode with the most focus and attention. So you know that I've been reveling in the OU losses a little bit. So,
Yes.
but thank goodness both our teams are both eligible now. So when we play this weekend, we can smoke y'all, and it won't even matter. I'll still be happy.
Right. Yes. You can keep dreaming that, and we'll just see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be there. So I'll have a real good feel of what's going to be happening Saturday.
Yeah,
good or bad.
That should be a fun experience. I don't really want to go to Lubbock, so I will not be there.
All right, well, in this episode, we'll recap the weekend of football, like I said, and then at the tail end, we'll just kind of give a little review of the new Pokemon game that Jeff's only just starting to get into, but I've played a lot of. So let's just jump into some of the early games, and we'll start with the TCU Baylor game. It was a rivalry game. I struggle with that word so much. Rivalry game. Yes. I always want to say rivalry. Rivalry game before rivalry week. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that final minute of that game was crazy. Were you watching it?
I just saw the replays of it. I was a little bit busy during this game, but it was insane. And I think it just shows, though, to me, people have been ragging on TCU the whole season. And mind you, I'm not a TCU fan at all. But in the bloodbath that has been the Big 12, they have come out on top 11-0. I think they're a good football team. And that final minute, I think, shows that. They were prepared. They got out there. They made the clutch thing in the clutch moment.
But it was crazy. You say they were prepared, and they were to run onto the field and kick the field goal. The kicker didn't even get his steps in. Like, why run the ball with no timeouts?
Yeah.
They couldn't even spike it because it was third down.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all doing?
And they had spiked it on second down, right?
Right, which is fine. But, I mean, if you have no timeouts, you cannot run the ball there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can because you still won. But holy smokes.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were watching it, and we were just, my heart was racing. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're blowing it. Everything rides on this. And then that kicker just nailed it after he had already missed an extra point earlier in the game. So I was like, dude, this is all on you, man. I could not be a kicker. I could not be a kicker.
No, I actually this weekend, Thanksgiving, me and my brother are planning to practice a little field goal kickage just to see how we could fare. But yeah, I could not be a kicker either. I'm with you there.
Oh, you're going to have to follow up. My wife doesn't think I can make a 25-yard field goal. And I'm like, you put it in between the hatches right in the middle of the field, I could do it 50% of the time.
Oh, I think higher than that percentage, I can make a 25-yarder. After that, though, sure, it's going to go way down. But yeah, I'll follow up.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe take some video or something.
See, but I'm not under this immense pressure to send, like, all your teammates are counting on you. Every fan is counting on you. Like, you make this and you still get to go to the playoffs. You miss this, you've blown it for your team.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that kind of pressure.
In the kicking realm, who doesn't have a kicker is Iowa State.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Terrible. Okay.
Yeah. But still in the TCU Baylor game, you were saying everyone's ragging on them. I kind of was, just because I felt like they were winning a bunch of games where they knocked out the starting quarterback. So good on them winning a game without hurting the starting quarterback.
Yeah,
they've done it a few times now, so I think they're actually a good team. And I like Duggan and Spike Dykes, so I'll be rooting for them probably the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think at this point, while OU is still in the Big 12, I'm rooting for the Big 12 team. Plus, I think you, me, and most of the world does not want to see Alabama weasel their way into the football playoff again.
Oh, my goodness. Not a chance, right? There's not a chance.
I would think there's not a chance, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Sonny Dykes. I said Spike Dykes. That's his dad. That's from Tech. That's why it always comes to my head, but Sonny Dykes. boy, on the Baylor side of things, they really bounced back from getting their butts kicked by Kansas State last week. I really thought they were going to pull this out. I think I think the big thing for them is Shapen made the biggest mistake of the game, probably throwing a pick in the end zone before halftime, and that cost Baylor from getting anything going into halftime.
Hmm.
Like they should have gotten at least 3 points there, and then they're not in this situation. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. You look back and you're like, that is such a big play. Like you knew it was big at the time, but it just really ended up being monumental.
Yes, and that'll happen to you. And Baylor's kind of a weird team to me. Like they can play really good one week and really bad the next. Like you brought up, they got smoked by Kansas State, and here they are we're on the verge of upsetting the number one team, or not number one, wow, number four team in the country.
We got a whole thing about Baylor on this podcast. We've talked about them every week. Like one of my
As
bold
yes,
predictions at the
I know, I
beginning.
know.
Yeah. As you know, yes. My bold predictions at the beginning was that Baylor was going to be mediocre. 6-6 was my guess. So
And
they're on pace.
they're on pace for that,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
They
hope
just
they
beat the crap out of Tech. So I felt like that was on me. Fully my responsibility. Like
yeah.
I should have not been talking smack.
Yeah, and
They had it.
I heard you very
Yes.
remorseful for that.
Yes.
Yeah, but I hope they play as their better team this weekend and smoke Texas, which I think we both would like Texas to lose.
Yes, absolutely. I don't want them in the Big 12 championship. Give me
No.
K State, TCU all day over that.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. I think the Big 12 probably wants that because
yeah,
of
you don't want
OU and Texas
leaving. Yeah,
leaving.
be like, we don't need y'all. Not even our best teams.
Yeah. Well, certainly not OU this year.
Talking about TCU at the end of the game struggling there. Michigan, Illinois was the same thing. But I would say the biggest story to come out of that game was that their star running back, who's a Heisman finalist, Corum, got hurt, and his status is unknown. He even tried to play again after the injury, played one play and left. Like he couldn't do it. So that's
See,
huge for them. And like if they had any chance of beating Ohio State, they have to have him play. And I just don't think he's going to be ready.
yeah, see, I watched just a little bit of this game, not the whole, so I didn't see him get hurt or whatnot. But like three of the top four teams barely squeaked by, man. And
Yeah.
honestly, I was kind of pulling for Illinois here. I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for Illinois, the Illini. I don't know why. I just kind of always have. I think it's because basketball. They're always kind of fun to watch in basketball. But yeah, another good game. Another
Field goal to win it.
field goal to win it.
And another sketchy time management at the end. Like they were throwing they had a lined up for a kick and they were just throwing the ball willy-nilly. I'm like, run the ball. If you throw an interception here, you lose the game. Like you don't need a touchdown. Just they were within the 10-yard line. I guess they just wanted to try to score, but they have a good field goal kicker. I don't know what they were doing, but it worked out for them. They won anyways. I think they're about to get smoked by Ohio State next week. Michigan's
Yeah,
only win is against Penn State, who doesn't have a ranked win. Of course, that's Ohio State's best win too.
yeah.
I don't like the Big Ten at all, but
That's the problem. There's not. Neither Michigan or Ohio State has had just a statement
they
win.
just beat up on cupcakes all season and then have to play two big games to get into the championship. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
And their biggest game is each other. Which
yeah,
I mean, that should be.
it's proof enough that you're good enough to play, but it's just frustrating when you don't have to prove it every week.
Yeah, which is to me the same thing with like Clemson. Like they haven't hardly played anybody. They played
The
Notre Dame and
ACC
got
has at least
smoked.
some mid-tier teams. They have some mid-tier teams at least. I feel like the Big Ten is just you're beating up on 4-win teams the whole season.
Yeah. Uh,
But
it's hard to
anyways,
argue with that.
I've had that. I was gonna say I've had that spiel almost every
You have.
podcast episode. So yeah,
You have for
but
sure.
but I do think Ohio State's legit, and I think they're gonna win next week.
I think they
Especially if
will. I
Corum's
think they
out.
got a better
Especially if Corum's
quarterback.
out, they're
I
gonna be
think
toast.
they've got a better. I think just a more all-around team, in my
And
opinion.
and I said that they don't have mid-tier teams, but Ohio State struggled this week too against Maryland. Like
Well, until
that
I was
score.
watching
That
a good
score
chunk of that one.
does not represent how close the game was.
They struggled until like the fourth quarter, and then they kind of took control. But
I mean, even
like
the
I don't know
fourth
what
quarter,
Maryland
though.
did because I went to Bedlam, but because it was close until like the fourth quarter, I think.
Yeah, no,
Right?
this score is 43-30. Ohio State wins, but The Terps had the ball with under a minute left, only down by 6 to drive and win the game. But they had a strip sack that turned into an Ohio State touchdown there at the end to basically seal the game. But they did not dominate. Like they still could have lost that game. Tua's brother's quarterback at Maryland, and
Yeah,
he
that's
was
right.
impressive. He played really well. I'm surprised he's in Maryland.
Yeah, I don't normally pay attention to Maryland, but I remember in their bowl game last year, I believe he played and he did really good. Then they smoked whoever they were playing in that bowl, but some
Yeah.
of those lower bowls, no one cares anyway. But yeah, they can be a solid team, I think. Like that's one of the Maryland's probably one of the better teams in the
Yeah.
Big Ten right now,
Yeah.
which is probably kind of
Saying
sad.
something. Yeah. I do think Ohio State was able to run the ball in this game, which is something they'd been struggling with. So if they can do that, they're gonna have a lot better chances of winning once they get into the playoffs. Man, I loved how these top teams were tested, though. All 3 of those games were great games to watch. It made this weekend a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then
Games you didn't
number
think were going to
5,
be very good kind of ended up being good.
Exactly. Number 5, Tennessee was the team that got knocked out, though. They're not making the playoffs now. And your boy Spencer Rattler looked like his Oklahoma self again. When that guy has time in the pocket, he's a stud. Oh, dude, he looked so good.
He did look good. He did
Yeah.
look very good in this game. But I don't know. Yeah, if you protect him, I think he can pick you apart like
Yep.
almost any quarterback. But you've seen the rest of his games this season. Like
Yeah.
South Carolina is trash.
He had 9 interceptions to 8 touchdowns and was only averaging 198 yards per game. Like how was the Tennessee defense this terrible? Like what happened? I did not get it. They could do whatever they wanted. Spencer
Yeah,
Rattler was just amazing.
I don't get it either. A team that beats Alabama,
Loses to South Carolina.
Who's the other like really big? I mean, they played Georgia kind of close. They lost by like what 12 or 14, I think. But
Yeah, boy, who else did they? They've played other ranked games and looked like a
looked
dominant
very
team.
good. Yes.
Yeah. I can't. Think
It's
of them
just
right now
weird to
either,
see a team that plays so well with like the big boys and they get smoked by South Carolina, who has done absolutely nothing all season.
Oh yeah, they smoked LSU, who's going to be in the championship game.
Yeah.
They beat them 40-13. They beat Alabama. They smoked Kentucky. They smoked Missouri. They barely beat Florida and barely beat Pitt, which is kind of, I guess, warning signs. But that was early in the season.
Yeah.
But man,
and I've kind of
sucks for them too, because it's like, this was their chance. This is their year. This is the year they were going to talk about forever, and now they're not even going to make the playoffs.
And honestly, I've been rooting for them. Josh Heupel, their coach, former OU quarterback and assistant coach. Plus, some of their alt uniforms that they've worn this year have just been sweet. Like those all black ones. If you can make
orange look good, they've done it.
They have done it. They're all black ones. They're like smoky gray ones. I mean, they have just rocked it out of the park with those uniforms. Meanwhile, OU gets well, our new alts this year were pretty sweet, but some of we just get trashy stuff. Like, come on, just stay with the classics, OU. That's
Look,
what
your colors don't do you
best.
justice. I don't like your colors.
But
Maroon and
they're just
like off-white.
They're just the better version of text color, so
black and red looks good anytime, all the time.
Okay, we could have this argument all day.
Yeah, we could. It's preference, but also fact that tech looks better. We might not be better, but we always look better.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, back to South Carolina, Tennessee. I think this makes the next week when Clemson plays South Carolina, it's going to make it way more like entertaining, because South Carolina's they're riding this high. They're Spencer Rattler. If he plays like this, they're gonna beat Clemson. Like,
plus,
it was incredible what he did. I mean,
Clemson's
defense is better than Tennessee's defense, but I don't know. I mean, it just makes the game more interesting. It is. It is. Clemson's defense is good. Their offense is bad.
But Clemson has been playing hardly any good offenses. It's like I've been saying this all
Wake
season.
Forest is a good offense. There's some good offenses that they've played.
But when they play like a real team like Notre Dame, they absolutely got destroyed. Their defense did absolutely nothing.
Oh, that's right. Notre Dame that's right.
Notre Dame like scored 50 on them almost. Yes. It's like, oh, what?
I was thinking Notre Dame, they're playing somebody. They're playing USC next.
A Notre Dame team that has come into its own kind of in the second half of the season, but they had a rocky start. But I've been saying this all season. Clemson is way overrated, and we may
We
see
think
that
so too. Yeah.
again on this weekend against South Carolina
Yeah,
if
I
they
just think
play
this
if
makes more
South
sense.
Carolina plays like
I
they
thought
did.
Clemson was overrated, but I thought they were definitely better than South Carolina. Now I'm like, well,
It could be a
maybe
good
South
game.
Carolina could beat them. Yeah.
It might be
So
interesting. It's a rivalry.
the another terrible news. So this was a bad weekend for Heisman contenders because Hooker is out for the
Yeah,
season. Tragic,
yeah.
man. Golly, non-contact injuries, knee injuries especially, just suck.
Just yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Just
that's
suck. And I mean, they were going
I
to lose
can
this game with him in there. He wasn't playing his best
right,
game,
right.
but like, when he went out, it sealed the game, and it's just you hate to see it,
And
especially when
not
he was
only
playing so
that, man,
well.
it depending on the injury, that can like really
Linger.
hurt your career too.
Yeah, yeah. It sucked. It sucked to see. I mean, it was just no good. Bad. It was about as disastrous as it could be for Tennessee.
Can we go just real quick back to kind of the top four matchups? They were like we said, they were all close, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the mark of a good team when that adversity comes. They all
Yes,
still ended up winning that game. So
yes. They're getting tested, and then it's like Tennessee was tested and they did not pass. So thank goodness that they're not going to be in the
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. But it was
I
fun
agree
while it
with you.
lasted for them.
Fun while it lasted. Yeah, it's still a great season. It's not going to be what they hoped.
hmm
And we'll go from one former OU QB to another OU QB, and
Yeah.
that's USC winning 48-45 against UCLA. If I had a Heisman vote, I would vote for Caleb Williams right now. That almost nobody is carrying his team more than this guy. Like maybe Drake May at North Carolina, but his opponents are not the same caliber. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams, his stats: 3,480 passing yards, 33 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, almost 9 yards or over 9 yards per attempt, and 316 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. Like this guy is just on a tear. He looks like he's playing on the JV. Like
Well,
it's crazy.
yeah, and as I have no ill will towards Caleb Williams. He is a fantastic football player, and he for sure is the reason they're winning games, and they're just squeaking by. Like they beat UCLA by 45, and you better believe I was pulling for UCLA. But
Beat him by 3, you mean?
oh yeah, sorry, 48 to 45. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's having a great year, which I don't think necessarily surprises
No,
anybody. But
not surprising. I will say USC squeaking by, and their defense is atrocious.
oh, it's
Right?
bad.
It's bad, but they have incredible turnover margin. Like their defense plus 20 in turnover margin, and the next closest is plus 14 by Duke.
Wow.
Like every time I watch them, it feels like they are getting a timely turnover to win the game. Like they got an interception to win this game. It's like they've been bending, and then on the final drive of the game, they get an interception. It happened against Oregon State. It happened against a few other teams this year. So if they can just get those timely stops and give the ball back to Caleb Williams, they got a chance. They got a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Still crazy that a defense this bad though might squeak it into the playoffs.
Yeah, and
They'll need some help, but they could do it.
they could. If they win out, I think they would have a pretty good chance.
I bet there'll be 5 this week.
I think they should be in the college football playoff. You mean?
Yeah.
Bowl? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me, of course, I don't really want them to make the playoff, but part of me would like them to get there just to get like smoked by Georgia. That'd be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that offense versus Georgia's defense would be super entertaining.
It really could
The
be.
problem is Georgia's offense, I think, would just run over
Oh yeah,
USC's defense.
they'd
Like,
obliterate USC's defense.
it'd be rough.
And Georgia
But
is
again,
not going to turn the ball over.
that's how they've played all season. Like they barely stop teams. Like if they can just get those turnovers against Georgia, and if USC's offense could stay with Georgia,
They play Notre
you never know
Dame
what
this
would
week,
happen.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be an interesting game.
100%. Notre Dame is a different team right now.
They are.
We can stay in the Pac-12 though and talk about Utah and the Oregon game.
Didn't
Man, it felt like the Ducks play every important conference game at home this season.
and they lost
I'm
that
like,
one,
they're
right?
home again. No, they won.
Oh,
They
they
won.
won.
They won
Oh,
20
okay.
to 17. Yeah.
I didn't pay attention.
I bet
to
they're
that
going to
game,
be.
I'll be honest.
They'll be the other team represented in the Pac-12 championship. I bet. I think Washington is the other team that has a chance, but I can't remember exactly how to line up. But
Yeah, I think
since
Utah
Washington beat them,
or UCLA had a chance though.
they did. But since they lost, I don't think they do anymore.
Yeah,
Bo Nix, I've not a big fan, but I have become more of a fan this season. And he showed some guts playing when he basically couldn't run. And he played pretty well. And Cam Rising for Utah did not. Had 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions. And that was pretty much the story of the game, pretty much why they lost. So
Yeah, Utah was another one of those teams that was that apparently nobody did any research on for preseason stuff because they were ranked way up there with OU, and now they're just like
they've
very
had a better
mediocre.
season than OU for sure.
They're still very
They
mediocre.
barely lost all their important games, except for they beat USC.
They did beat USC, thank goodness. But yeah, they yeah, sure, they've done better than OU in
And
arguably the
barely
weakest
lost those
conference.
big games that they needed to win. I mean, I think that they've underperformed, but they've been about as good as people actually expected. I think, except for Ashton.
Yeah.
Ashton was high on him. He had them going Final Four.
Well, I don't think he was the only one though. I think a lot
No,
of
he
people
wasn't.
had them pretty high, but
Hey, I
yeah, they
say
just kind
let's
of
go.
lost it.
Let's talk about our teams now. Well, I'll let you go
Let's do it.
first. What did you think about OU's win?
Uh,
You were
I
there, so you
I was
got to.
there, and let
Yeah.
me tell you, that first quarter was maybe some of the best football, OU football I have ever watched, followed by some of the worst, at least offensively, OU football I've ever watched.
Run the dang ball.
Well, we were. It wasn't that we weren't running; it's that we snapped it. I mean, there was talk about you brought up clock management in some of those earlier games.
Uh huh.
OU's clock management was abysmal, dude. I mean, we couldn't have managed the clock any worse. We would snap it 5 seconds into the count after a run, not let any time run off, and then not even get a first down and have to punt it right back to OSU. It was just, I had 15 game minutes of sheer joy and excitement, followed by just
2
boring
hours of just
2 hour,
clench your
two and a
teeth.
half hours of boring heartache.
Stress.
Stress. But at the end of the day, we beat OSU.
Hey,
OSU, I mean,
good thing Spencer Sanders had money on OU, right? Thank
that's
goodness.
right. That's right. It's a good thing Spencer Sanders was actually on OU's team and throwing to us because
Man, I'd have been
otherwise it might have
interested to
gone
see
differently.
what a healthy Spencer Sanders would have looked like on the Oklahoma State team this year because boy, he's been rough, especially the second half of this season.
Well, he was healthy. Yeah, the first half he was healthy
Yeah.
and he was tearing it up. Though, and I think I talked about this to you yesterday, maybe. But he was not. A lot of his bad throws were not because of his injury. He was just throwing all over the place.
I mean, but it's his shoulder. So, I mean, I'm thinking about even if you overthrow it, it's because you just don't feel comfortable. Like you just can't, you don't know the right way to throw when your arm hurts.
Yeah,
So
that's
I just
fair,
feel like
and I agree with that. But what about when he was literally throwing to where there wasn't a orange jersey or a white jersey inside?
that's another
Is
thing
that
is
is
he
that
has
the
no
arm? Is that
rapport
the
with
pain
the
in the arm?
he has no rapport with these receivers
It's like
because
he didn't
they don't
communicate.
practice. They don't practice together. So they are not on the same page. Like
They're
he's throwing to
not, and
places
that's
they're not there. And you're right, that's not exactly on the arm for sure,
right.
but it's on the fact that he can't practice with them. Like he literally just gets shot up for a game and then plays and then rehabs until the next game.
And the only
What a
reason,
miserable time it must be for Spencer Sanders.
yeah, no kidding. And probably the only reason he even is playing is because
Their backup's
their backup
terrible.
is terrible.
Oh, so bad. Yeah. He's like, y'all, if you if you lose your starting quarterback, y'all are just no good.
Yeah, we're not even a team. We're a high school
You're
team if we lose
general
our
booty after that.
not even yeah, I wish General Booty would play. They might let him throw the ball,
Yeah.
but
Got
at the
any
end of the
other?
day, a win is
Yeah.
a win, and I was happy for that. And we
And
made a
y'all are going
bowl.
bowling. Yep. Even
Some
in your down years, you're going bowling.
some the Taxac Slayer Bowl or something.
Get tickets for $15.
Yeah, maybe it'll be in Hawaii, and the players will have some fun or something.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I have to think every time Texas Tech has a good season. Hey, we made a bowl game. Maybe the players will have some fun.
Which you did. Tech made a
We
bowl
did. Yes.
the
So
same weekend.
this game was cold as heck. It was 9 degrees there. That is miserable atmosphere to play football. The score was 14-10. And thank goodness Tech can win a game like this. Because there was a time where if the score was 14-10, or if there was even a possibility of the score being 14-10, we would have blown it. But we kind of have a defense now. And I think we're going to have Tyree Wilson is hurt and he's out for the season. He's declared for the draft. but he has been a great defensive player, and he's another first round defensive player we're sending to the pros. So like we're turning things around here. We've got a defense, and we're only going to get stronger and stronger in defense. So it's been fun to watch this team play, and the defense was key to this win. Iowa State, well, they were the key, and also Iowa State's bad field goal kicker, like you referenced earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
He missed 2 right off the bat, 2 easy field goals, and it caused Iowa State to go for it on 4th and 1 at their own goal line 2 separate times, and we stopped them both times. So it was just like, got me so hyped. I wished our offense could have done more, but in the end, they did what needed to be done. I think that they should have run the ball more still. You know, they were getting a little pass happy, and we were not. We had the advantage in the run. I just wanted us to keep running.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, they had the 2 drives that won the game for us, and I just hope that we can just carry it over and smoke y'all next week.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, you may very well beat us. I think, in all honesty, that game is going to be anyone's game.
Yeah, we're pretty even.
It depends what
very
OU
even
team or what Tech team shows up, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Is it going to be the Tech team that's just got throttled by Baylor, or the Tech team that beat Texas?
Yes. And will it be the OU team that can kind of play football, or the OU team that can't play football at all?
What other games? What other games you want to cover?
Well,
Texas beat the brakes off Kansas, but
yeah,
Kansas is going bowling, so
I was
that
hoping
was disappointing. I think they got a little
Kansas to win
little
2 years
revenge
in a
game.
row.
They're like, we are not gonna embarrass ourselves, even though Kansas is an actual decent team this year, so it wouldn't be as embarrassing.
Let's see what else was in like the top 25.
Yeah, not much else.
Not much else.
Oh, Ole Miss losing to Arkansas. We called that on this podcast. Ole Miss was frauds. Their schedule was Cupcake City, and when they played a good team, they lost, and that bore itself out this season. So,
and Arkansas has just barely lost some big games. Like they were on the verge of being like maybe Tennessee level, you know.
Arkansas played a tough schedule.
They did.
I mean, they played Cincinnati, which is a good non-conference, South Carolina, which they won that game. A&M they lost. They lost a heartbreaker to A&M. They played BYU. Their non-conference was good, I guess is what I'm thinking, because they played Cincinnati, Liberty, BYU. All of those teams are pretty solid.
Yeah, they've had a solid schedule, and like I said, they just were a couple
they beat LSU,
close losses away from
having a pretty decent year,
having a much better record. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about Georgia, Kentucky, which they only won that 16-6, so it's not like a.
Yeah, I watched that game. I watched it. It was honestly kind of boring.
Seems like it. 16-6 score doesn't seem very exciting.
Kentucky, man, they could not move the ball on this defense. Will Levis is supposed to be an NFL quarterback, but I don't see it. I haven't seen it really all year. The hype for him.
Yeah.
I know he's been hurt a lot. He's had a lot of injuries. When he's healthy, he's probably pretty good, but boy, just haven't seen that a lot this year.
Yeah.
But talk about tough schedule. They had a tough schedule too.
Kentucky?
Yeah, playing Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Ole Miss,
and
Florida. I bet they
were
Ole
undefeated
Miss best win
for like the first part of the season, right?
Well, I mean, their first 4 games.
First 4 games.
And Ole Miss got a lot of pull when they beat Kentucky, because it was like 14 versus 12.
Yeah.
But then after that, they've just gone downhill. So,
can we talk about how maybe not half, but several SEC teams just play like a little like a high school team this week? Like LSU played UAB, Alabama played whoever the heck they played. I mean,
yeah, they do this. That's been my knock on the SEC. I think they're good this year. This is a good SEC this year. But in the past, they've been so top heavy to me.
Well,
I would always get so frustrated why they would schedule these bad games.
And
like 3
at the end of the season,
terrible non-conference games.
Do it at the start when everyone else does it, so it doesn't look as bad. It's like week 11, and Alabama's playing. I don't know, like who did they play?
That's because they only play 8 conference games, and the Big 12 they play 9. We play every other team.
Yeah.
And a lot of conferences are that way, but the SEC
that's about to
has
change.
that one extra bad game. Yeah, that is about to change.
All around, college football schedules could use
I
some
think
tinkering.
I think having this new playoff system is going to make it so much better
Yeah.
because people aren't
Oh
going to
yeah.
be afraid to lose a game early. They'll want that
Right.
resume builder,
Right.
But if you lose a game early, you're like, okay, well, we still got a chance to make it into this
Right.
bracket.
And that
But
might take away one of the like non-con games. So like if there's a longer playoff, right? Or they
yeah, I get
just
what you're saying.
or
Yeah.
unless they just make the college football season longer, which I'm not opposed. I'm sure you're not
Oh yeah,
opposed.
for sure. No, I think those teams would just play an extra game or two.
Yeah, and that may be. But yeah, then you wouldn't be afraid to like schedule
Schedule a good game at
Georgia
the
first,
beginning. Yeah.
second week or
Well,
something.
that's like Oregon playing Georgia. Like Oregon had a lot to lose there. So did Georgia. When Georgia smoked them, Oregon's
Yeah.
season felt like it was pretty much over then. And it was
Yeah.
like if they had,
But then
if
it really
they,
is not. I mean, had they not
well,
lost a second time, like they still maybe could have.
right. But now they've got more than one loss and they're out of it because of
Right.
that.
Right. Right.
Whereas in the future they could still be in it. Like they win their conference championship, they're in the playoffs.
And
You know,
this to me is a perfect year. Like a 12-team playoff this year, I think it'd be awesome. Like the top
yeah.
12 teams, I think can beat one another.
There's parity. There's parity. Like you said, Georgia barely beat Kentucky.
Yeah. And Georgia barely beat Missouri. Like Georgia's had some games that they barely won.
That they've looked beatable.
Like
Yeah.
they're not yeah, they don't look
They're not
unbeatable
like
sometimes.
Alabama's of the past where you get Bama by 2 touchdowns and you're like, whoo, we almost got them.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not like that LSU team
Yeah,
2
the
years
Joe
ago
Burrow
that
one
Joe Burrow that there was no team on earth that could have
on their
beaten that
level.
team.
Yeah. I mean, it's been good college football this year. The parity has
It
been
has been.
fun.
It
And
has been.
I'm excited to see the playoffs. I wish it was the 12 team already. But hey, I'm just glad we're getting it. I thought it might never happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's look ahead to the next week. Rivalry week. I got it. Yes.
Right. Yes, rivalry. Now I can't rivalry week.
It's tough, man. So we got some good games starting off Thursday. We get Mississippi State, Ole Miss, the
Ole
Egg Bowl,
Miss.
baby. That'll be fun. Oh man, that's
Will
Thursday.
it-
Let's go.
You've just trashed on Ole Miss, and I
Oh,
don't think
rivalry games are fun, man. They're
They are
just fun.
They are all of
So
them.
like both of these teams hate each other and they'll have a good time playing and it'll probably be a good game. And both of these teams are about the same to me. Like I don't think Ole Miss is
Yeah.
that much better than Mississippi State.
That's probably true.
And then you got Tulane, Cincinnati, two of the better Group of 5 teams.
And
Baylor,
Tulane, man,
Texas.
Tulane's they're having a pretty good year.
Yeah, they're up and down. Mostly up, but they just lost to UCF earlier.
Yeah.
They beat the snot out of SMU though.
Yeah.
So they're coming off a big win there.
Hey, they're ranked.
So
I
that'll
mean,
be fun.
They're not usually
Yeah.
a ranked team, so
No,
good for
that's true. They're having a great season. Baylor, Texas, that'll be a fun game.
that'll be fun.
Hopefully
Bears.
Baylor can win that one and keep Texas out of the Big 12 championship.
Florida State, that's always
Yeah.
talk about another disappointment, man. Florida was ranked
Yeah.
fairly high at the beginning, and
Florida had a tough schedule also.
they did. And they
And
did not
Florida
rise to the
State-
challenge.
I think Florida's quarterback next year is going to be awesome. Richardson, I love watching him play.
Dude,
He makes some mistakes, but he does some stuff sometimes where I'm like, that guy's got talent.
He played some fun to watch games. His first couple games were pretty fun to watch.
Against Utah, man, he'd have been the Heisman if it was a 1 week
Yes,
Heisman.
yep. West Virginia OSU, that's not really a rivalry. That's because we did Bedlam this past week. We're kind of weird.
NC State, North. Oh, say that again. Oh yeah.
I was
Y'all
talking
already
about
y'all got ahead and did the rivalry.
We like to be
early.
the sole rivalry show on a week and then
Yeah.
let the rest of the
Yeah.
league do it.
We can pretend like we're rivals this weekend.
We can, yeah.
NC State, North Carolina, that'll be a big game. Boy, North Carolina's the weirdest.
Weird that both of these teams are ranked. That's usually an
Yeah.
unranked rivalry game
Well,
right there.
Well, North Carolina just lost to Georgia Tech, so I think that they might get knocked down
They
way
did.
low.
They did. Yeah,
But-
yeah.
And NC State, I can't remember. I think they might have lost too. Yeah, they just lost to Louisville.
Okay,
So both of these teams are going off of letdowns. So
it
they're,
might not
they're
be a
pretty equal, though.
ranked football game.
Yeah, it won't be, but they're pretty equal, and that'll be fun.
They are.
I love that these games are on Friday too. Like all the games that we've talked about so far are on Friday.
Some Friday football finally.
Yeah.
It's not
There's sometimes a good game, but not normally multiple good games to pick from.
UCLA, California. I mean,
It's the holiday effect,
yeah,
but
the old
still
Thanksgiving.
pretty cool. And then obviously Michigan, Ohio State. They always talk about like this is the best rivalry in college football, and it might be. It definitely
It's up there.
ticket prices
It's up
wise,
there.
it definitely is.
I mean, and this season a 2v3, which
Yeah, huge. Yeah,
that's
it's gonna
with
be
some
fun.
playoff implications on the
Yeah,
line.
but they're
It
at
is always
Ohio
a fun one
State.
to
I just think
watch.
Michigan's just gonna just stomp them.
Wait,
We
you
talked
think
about.
Michigan's
I
gonna
think
stomp Ohio State?
no, sorry, Ohio State's gonna stomp Michigan.
Yeah.
Thank you
We
for
agree
letting
on
me
that.
correct
We
that.
agree on
Yep.
that.
South Carolina, Clemson. We talked about it
Talked
being
about it.
possibly better now that we've seen the
Well, yeah,
best South Carolina team.
last week it'd been like,
Nah.
no, that game's
Yeah.
probably not watch that. This week, yeah, I'll watch it. I'll throw it on. Georgia Tech.
Bama, Auburn, always exciting, no
It
matter what
is.
the records are.
It is. And Auburn I don't think is very good, but you know what? Maybe
Again,
neither is
throw the
Alabama.
records out. Throw the records out.
Georgia Tech, you skipped that one.
I did.
Or I don't know the order you're looking at, but I don't think
I just
Georgia
don't think
loses
that's.
that. But
I don't think that's a good game. Yeah. Oregon State is actually a good rivalry this time around.
yes.
Normally Oregon is just
Oh,
way
and
better, but
really,
Oregon State's been pretty good this
it
year.
has been the past couple of years a decent game. I don't know if you've watched it. Last year was a decent game actually. Oregon State barely, I think, almost won, right?
Oregon, yeah, you're right. Oregon
Or
State,
they might have won. I don't
they're
remember.
kind of their program's kind of taking a turn here. TCU Iowa State is not a rivalry game, but again, I think it'll be a close game because TCU only plays close games.
I don't think so. Iowa State has no offense. TCU
I
has
know,
a
but
pretty good defense.
their defense is like 8th in the nation. Like
Yeah, they have a great
their defense is
defense.
good.
But
It will keep them in the game.
but so does TCU. TCU's defense is pretty good. So
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if your defense isn't playing their defense. TCU's offense is pretty good, so I think that they're going to win. But I'm just saying Iowa State's going to keep that game close.
but I don't know if Iowa State scores. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. They got Hutchinson. That's all they got, but just
Yeah.
give him the ball every time. LSU A&M is a pretty fun rivalry, and
Is that a rivalry?
A&M. Well, it's kind of become
Has it
one
become a
since they
rivalry?
moved to SEC. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
become kind of a rivalry.
Mm.
LSU's pretty much won that thing, but
Yeah.
this will be like A&M's bowl game because they're not making it this year. So
That's just kind of sad
and
because
it's
they were
it's at
very hyped
A&M.
at the beginning of the season too.
Yeah. Talk about letdowns.
I think LSU probably wins that if I had to guess, though.
Yeah, me too, 100%. But I think it'll be a good game because they're at A&M, and it's like A&M's gonna be pulling out all the stops, every trick play. All the players are gonna get a chance. It's gonna be
for sure.
It's gonna be. I don't know. Jimbo doesn't have a lot of creativity with his offense, but he's going to do his best here.
Right.
You got to end the season on a high note. You might save yourself a little bit of slack in the off season.
Right. Did you mention Michigan State, Penn State?
No. Michigan
Is that
State's
a rivalry?
no good. I don't know. I would imagine it's some kind of rivalry, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
And then we talked about USC Notre Dame. That game is, I don't know if that's a rivalry, but it's going to be a good game.
It will.
It's like
it will. I mean, don't they usually
Notre Dame's
play
last
every
chance
year?
to
I
knock
feel
out USC.
Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Who knows? Vandy might get a win there. A little Tennessee.
They hadn't won an SEC game in like 40 games, and now they've got 2 back to back. Baby, momentum's real. Momentum's a real thing.
Yeah, little Tennessee. I can't say Tennessee now. What is going on? Little Tennessee rivalry though. It's always a good thing. Is that it? Oh, Washington State.
Yeah, Washington should win that one pretty handily.
Yeah. They're only a 2-point favorite as of right now, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Pac-12 after dark, getting a little crazy. That's a 9:30 p.m. kickoff. Yep. I'll be getting back from the Tech game and be able to watch this one.
Kansas
State. You never know. I think Kansas State will beat them.
Got to. And we got to pull for Kansas State if we're against Texas here.
Texas, yeah.
Because if they win, it doesn't matter what Texas does.
Exactly, yeah. But
that could be a good game. You're right. Kansas has surprised some people this year.
Everybody.
But I think it is in Manhattan, so...
Yeah, they're going to lose. I'm pretty confident.
Provided Kansas State doesn't pull like a Tulane game, then yeah.
Kansas is just not built like Tulane. Kansas is built to outscore you. Tulane is built to drain the clock and wear you out.
Yeah. which is kind of what Kansas State is built to do.
Uh-huh.
Or just hand it to Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah,
And
they beat him at their own game. Deuce
yes.
Vaughn was sick that game, though, so he was playing
Yeah.
and puking on the sidelines.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that was a pretty good recap.
It is. And it should be an exciting week of college
I am
football.
pumped, man. I am pumped. Love me some
Arguably
college football.
one of the best weeks.
We got 13 episodes of this podcast. We're moving and grooving, man.
Mm,
Thanks for joining.
yep.
All right, we can do a hard shift into
hard shift.
yeah.
Wait.
What do you got?
What? Because I don't know whenever you'll have me back here, but so what are your playoff predictions as of right now?
As of right now, let me pull up the rankings real quick.
I think one. I'll go first. I think
Yeah,
one
okay.
Georgia, two will be Ohio State, assuming they're going to win this weekend.
Mhm.
I don't foresee TCU losing, although they could. It's not impossible. So might move up to number 3, and number 4 is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because USC could be sitting at 5, and if they win the Pac-12, I would think they get in, unless they lose this week to Notre Dame, and then they'll have 2 losses.
Mm-hmm. And then if Clemson beats Notre Dame, and it's
Clemson,
or if Clemson beats South Carolina, I mean,
then they could shoot back up there.
They could, yeah.
If LSU, so it's going to be
they'll have to win. They'll have to win their conference game though.
It's going to be LSU, Georgia, probably the SEC championship, right?
Yes. Yep.
If LSU wins that, do they get in?
Yes. The committee wants 2 SEC teams in there, and I don't blame them because I think the SEC's been the strongest conference this year.
And that would be the first ever 2-loss team in the college football playoff, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. But
that would be interesting.
There'd have to be a lot that happens to do that because you'd have if Georgia lost, because you're not going to have not an SEC team in there, right? Like if Georgia loses and LSU wins, then you've got a 1-loss Georgia and a 2-loss LSU, and you think, boy, that LSU team has got better wins than anybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
How do we keep them out?
They beat Bama. They beat a whole host of other SEC teams.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Georgia
they were to happen to upset Georgia, the biggest one.
Yeah. And so then you'd have a Big Ten champion, you'd have a Georgia team, and then an SEC championship LSU, and then TCU, I think.
Yeah.
Now, if Georgia wins, then you've got Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, assuming they win the Big 12. And I'm going to say they do. That's going to be my prediction right now. Georgia, Ohio State, TCU. And then I think that last team, man, I think that's going to be USC.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can win back-to-back games coming up, but I've doubted them all season, and they keep finding ways to get that clutch pick. And that just seems like the least chaotic way for this whole thing to go.
Yeah.
The most chaotic thing for this thing to go is Georgia losing, USC losing, Clemson losing, Alabama not having to play anybody there. And so then
somehow squeaking in.
Then it's like I still just don't feel like Alabama's going to get in.
They should not.
But if TCU loses, so say TCU loses Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
Ohio State loses the Big 10 championship game. Like then you've got chaos going on.
I know.
My prediction, just to get it down. Yeah, just to get it down is Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, USC.
That is going to be my prediction, just because I think USC weasels their way in to spite OU fans. I will take the same prediction as you there.
And they'll probably pull an Oklahoma and just get walloped by Georgia.
Yeah, probably. 1. Hey, we almost beat Georgia one time.
Y'all did. No. Oklahoma gets a bad rap. Y'all competed pretty well, except for like one game, I think. And everyone just remembers that one game.
Yeah.
Okay, now are we going to hard pivot?
We can hard pivot.
All right. Let's hard pivot to my Pokemon review. I'm just going to talk, and if you've got questions, just ask them. Sound like a plan?
Yep.
So this new Pokemon game, I got Pokemon Scarlet, and I enjoy it a lot, but I have a hard time recommending it to people because it is the worst performing Pokemon game I think we've ever had. I know that we've ever had. Pokemon pop in and out. The frame rate is just nearly unbearable in the cities. Like, your guy is just a robot-looking dude.
Let me interject here.
Okay.
I just got Pokemon Scarlet as well. I've played about, maybe an hour. Maybe not that long. Maybe like 40 minutes. And the one thing I agree on so far is the frame rate is pretty It's tough. It is
It's
tough.
tough. And you're like, this is like a low-end GameCube game. Like like we're in 2022. Like we got to be doing better Pokemon.
I mean, to be fair, I think it looks pretty good. You just can't move.
Yeah. Well, and in the wild area it doesn't look very good.
I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Or are you
But
just seeing like where
I
wild
will say,
Pokemon are?
yeah, the open world, not the cities. Because
Yeah,
the
I don't
cities
think
do
it
have kind of
looks.
a charm to them, but
It doesn't
it
look
looks pretty
worse than
bad,
like.
dude. It's like a plane.
It's not worse than like Legends of Arceus, though.
No, but that game didn't look great either.
No, it didn't.
It ran better though. Like
It
the
did.
frame
It was
rate
smooth.
never dipped like
It was
this.
smooth.
Yeah. But I will still say I wanted to get that out of the way before I say exploring is fun in this game, and I just really have had a good time playing it. Boy, we've asked for an open world Pokemon for so long, and seeing Pokemon in the world is just still fun. After Arceus, I was like, oh, are they going to go back to having to walk in the grass?
Mm,
And they didn't. It's just out, and it makes me want to catch them. You know, like before, I would never. It was like an optional thing. Like, okay, am I going to go in the grass and look for a
right.
Pokemon?
Right.
But now it's like you see it in the wild, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen that guy before. Let me go get him real quick.
Yeah. Oh, I
You know,
catch. So far, I kill go catch anything I haven't seen, which is what I did in
exactly.
Arceus, and
Yeah. So
um,
that's fun. It's not as fun to catch it in Arceus because you could sneak up and just throw a Pokeball, and like that was fun.
yes, that was so fun.
But
So fun.
in this game, you have to battle them actually to catch them.
You do.
But it's still
You can still kind of throw
enjoyable.
your main guy or whoever's your lead Pokemon out there, and
Yeah, to fight them.
yeah.
Yeah, it feels good.
And Sword and
And it's
Shield
cool.
kind of started the. They were like a midway between open world and not open world.
But
Just
those
too
open
early, I
worlds I
think.
felt were way less enjoyable to be in than this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's cool that the trainers are optional. Like they no longer stop you. Like you can just pick whether or not you want to battle them or not.
Yeah. I
But the
just
game
ran around a
does
guy earlier because I was like, "Hello, you gonna see me?"
test it out.
And
Yeah,
I had to click
but the game
A.
does a good job of incentivizing you to go battle them because, like, if you don't battle them, you don't get the experience and you don't get the rewards because they have like a Pokemon League representative at every Pokemon station
I don't
to
know
be
that.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, have you battled a guy?" And if you have, you get rewards. So you miss out on those rewards
Oh
if
yeah,
you.
there's like the what is it, the LP or what is it called?
Yep, LP is part of those
LP.
rewards,
Yeah,
which is like secondary money,
I know. That's
basically.
kind of. I've never had a money issue in Pokemon because you get so much, but I feel like now you really won't have it because you can
Yeah,
use multiple
they
currencies.
give you less money, but you're right. It
I don't know.
well, we'll get into it.
I've battled one guy. I already got like 10 grand.
Well, there's a lot to spend it on, and like if you're actually catching Pokemon, you got to actually buy Pokeballs.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
there's a lot in the world to like find on the
But you pick
ground.
up a lot of Pokeballs.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I
Like
kind of like
I really enjoy
that
that.
what they've done there. That you really can. They have a beam of light on top of the Pokeball. It kind of makes it like, ooh, what's that over there? I gotta go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's like 3 levels to it. So there's
Yeah,
like
I've
the
seen a
red
red and
Pokeball that's like
gold.
a bigger thing, a gold Pokeball which is a TM,
Uh
and then
huh.
a small little dot on the ground that could just be anything. And so
Yeah,
if you
I've
run
seen
over the small little dot, you can get
the
that.
small. Dude, that's one thing that's weird. Speaking of small, some of the Pokemon are absolutely tiny
I
in the world,
love that, dude. Yes.
but like
Like they're
I feel
the
like more
sizes
tiny
to
than they
them.
should be, but maybe not. I don't know.
No,
It's the scaling is weird to me.
just look in your Pokedex. Also, dude, the Pokedex, they rebranding it
Dude, the
like the
Pokédex looks sweet. I gotta
it
say,
looks sweet. It looks sweet, and
and
it's
how when you
like
catch a Pokemon, it like throws a book in the shelf.
yes, it's like a bookshelf,
It's
and
really cool.
it's made me want to fill that thing out. Like it's given me like I never cared about the Pokedex in any of the other games, and right now I'm like, oh, I gotta catch this guy. Who knows what his picture's gonna be? I want to fill that
Yeah.
shelf. It's like fun to complete it.
It's really cool. I the only Pokédex I've ever fully completed was Sword and Shield, and it was quite the grind, let me tell
Wow,
you.
yeah, props.
Me and my brother did that, but it was kind of fun too. But yeah, this one just makes you it like incentivizes you a little bit more.
And you get rewards for doing it too. Have you seen that? There's like a tree, and it's
Yeah,
like you catch
no,
this many Pokemon, you get
not
a reward. You catch this many Pokemon,
I'm
you get a reward.
I haven't seen that. I'm not very far along.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Like, I love these little subtle changes they've made to make things more incentivized to do them. I like how they do the TMs. So the TMs aren't endless anymore. You have to find them in the world, and if you find them in the world, then you can craft them. And to
Mm,
craft them, you have to get items from Pokemon in the wild. So, like, say you have a fighting move you want to get, it could say you need 3 Mankey fur, and then it'll be like question mark, question mark, question mark. So you're like, okay, to make this TM, I have to battle a Mankey or catch a Mankey, and then I also am gonna have to find another fighting Pokemon in the wild to craft
mm,
this TM.
mm.
So that's pretty cool.
That is
And
cool.
your
But
menu
that
of
makes
TMs
me.
upgrade
I
based
barely
on
use
how
TMs
good you are.
anyway, and that makes me almost not want to use them because I have to do extra stuff to use them.
But some of the like, so on my team I have the new Wooper. I have his evolved
Uh-huh.
Quagsire, and he is good. Like, he's like a little derpy tank. Like, I love him,
I'm
but
planning to get one of those whenever I find them.
he has no move sets like he's learning. Like,
Mm.
all of the stuff I'm gonna have to do with him is through TMs. So
So they kind of.
they might have nerfed the move sets. I don't think
Uh,
so, but getting the TMs, you're like, oh crap, I just got Fire Blasts. Like, that's way better than anything that my
yeah.
Fire Pokemon has right now. I want to get this TM. I want to teach him this move, and so it's been cool. Another like layer to it. They really do let you go anywhere you want to, but there's like certain restrictions based on your mount. Like, okay, you're not going to be able to get to this part until you unlock this part of your mount. And also, the levels for the Pokemon don't scale with you. So, like, you can stumble into a place where there's like, I was like early in the game and I stumbled into like a level 50 Golduck. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm about to get smoked.
Which
I tried to catch him and it would not let me catch him because it was like, you're not good enough yet.
which is one of the big complaints that I saw for the game before it was released was that there's no level scaling because that kind of. I mean, it
I
it
like it.
says open world, but then it kind of takes it away because there's still a set path you have to go, basically.
Well,
Otherwise, you're gonna get smoked.
there's always level scaling though. Like, you can get your team good enough to fight those Pokemon. You just can't catch them because you don't have the gym badges. But like, I've gone in a different order than my
But
brothers who are
true
playing.
level scaling would be you could go battle the 8th gym leader, and they would
But
have
what if you found
they would have level 20 when you have level 20. And then if you go battle the first at the end of the game, they're gonna have like level 50 or 60. That would be
but
true
what
level scaling.
but what if you went out there in the wild and you found like a Salamence, but it's like level 5? You can't have like a powerful Pokemon just to fight early on in the game.
Well, I don't. I guess I don't mean with like wild Pokemon, but like trainers and gym leaders and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that would have probably worked better. I'll say the 3 main objectives in the game are doing like the regular beat the gym battles. You've got also, you're fighting these like boss Pokemon in the wild that were kind of like Arceus, the big wild Pokemon in Arceus.
Yes, yeah.
And then you've also got this third thing, which is like the bad guys of the game, which are not really that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I haven't seen anything of like into the world kind of stories like some of the other games. But it has been fun, kind of. And they acted like it was 3 separate paths you pick, but really you're just doing all of this the whole time you play the game.
Oh, okay. That is good to know. I'm excited to kind of keep playing it and move the story and the 3 objectives along. So
I'll also say a few more things. The Terra type, pretty fun. It's stupid. I hate
yeah,
the crowns on them, but it's
yeah,
fun because changing types is like a different thing, and it's not like a one hit KO like in the other games. If you like Mega Evolve or do the Gigamax form, it's like, okay, I know my next attack's gonna wipe them out.
right. It's just a
It
it
just
changes your
changes
type
and it makes
and then
that
it's
type move a little stronger, but it's not like a one hit KO kind of
okay.
thing.
Well, that's nice, I
Yeah.
guess.
The music's good in the game, and also, it's still weird that there's no voice acting in these games.
Yeah. I don't
It
know,
kind
that's
of
kind of
takes you out
classic
of it.
Pokemon though. But I
It
have
is,
been
but
paying
it's
attention to
weird.
the music and I am very much liking it so far. It's very
Yeah,
Pokemon.
very Pokemon. But yeah, I think this is an exciting new way for Pokemon to be played, and if they could just work out the technical side of things, this would be the game that I always wanted as a kid. So,
Do you, well, on that note, do you think kind of my one question, do you think Pokemon is maybe a little easy or that it's babying us a little bit? Or is it just more geared towards kids,
Well,
and
it's
we're
definitely
adults now.
it's definitely more geared towards kids. But I will say right now, I'm stuck in a battle. I'm not stuck, but I actually lost my first fight today going against
Oh
the
wow.
water gym because they have level Pokemon or Pokemon that are level like 45, 47, and I'm level capped right now at 40. So I either have to use my base team, which I did not vary my typing very well. So I'm like,
Oh,
it's the psychic gym, and I was needing dark type Pokemon, but I didn't have any in my original team. So
so
then
you
I'm trying to
can't have
catch.
Pokemon over level 40?
You can, but they don't listen to you. It's
Oh, they
like
don't
the
listen
old
to you.
games because you don't have
Oh,
enough gym badges.
so you're trying to
So
beat 45-ish with 40?
with 40 and under, or with my original team that is got none of the
Mm,
weaknesses for psychic,
mm,
so that's been kind of a twist that I was like, whoa,
yeah.
I've never fought the
Might have to go
never.
catch something.
Yeah, exactly. So it is geared towards kids, but I still am having fun playing it. So
That's good.
the moment I stop having fun is the time that I'll be like, well, maybe I'll wait until my son plays Pokemon and then I'll be excited for it again.
Which, to me, catching Pokemon will always be fun,
Yeah,
even if the rest of it is kind of easy.
yeah.
I don't mind going out there, throwing a
which
ball,
is
catching a
which
few
is why
Mons.
Arceus was so awesome. It's
It
still my
was.
favorite one.
And that, to me, that had one of the hardest Pokemon battles I've ever done.
Yeah,
The
the
very
end of it.
last guy.
This one is yet to be determined how hard it's going to be.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Well, thanks for joining the show again. Maybe Ashton will be back next week, but if not, you might get another call up. Who knows?
Alrighty. I might try to have a more professional microphone next week.
Oh,
Or
next
maybe not
time
next week,
if you
whenever.
get another call up.
If I get another call up. Yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice. And hey, we'll play some Warzone too. So when we talk about that next,
Yeah,
you can have an opinion.
I downloaded. I've been needing to dabble in it a little bit.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. As always, please give us a 5-star rating, share, and subscribe. Appreciate it. See y'all.
Bye.